Hi, I realize for problem 2 on the exam, there's one aspect of Comsol that we haven't discussed that you might need to know to do this, because we haven't really worked with 3D models. So I'm going to show you how to implement the boundary conditions. So here I have Comsol open. I'm going to go ahead and do a 3D model, and we're going to do under heat transfer in solids. And this will be a stationary solution. We're only looking at modeling heat transfer in the ground, so the geometry will be fairly simple. I'm just going to create a block, and I'll make this just for something sort of simple, 100 by 100 by 100 cubic meters. So here's the geometry of the ground, and we're applying that boundary condition up here, which is the footprint of the building. So we need to put in an area on this upper face, and this is the part that I don't think we've covered. So what we want to do is create a work plane on this top surface. So under geometry, I'm going to right click and select work plane. The default work plane is on the XY plane, as you see it highlighted in the bottom, but we want to move it up to the top of our geometry, so I'm going to adjust this Z coordinate to be 100. And that will place the work plane up on the top where we want to apply our boundary condition. So now if I click on the plane geometry underneath the work plane there, I now go to a two-dimensional geometry. I'll zoom extents here. So what I draw on here is like drawing on the top of the geometry. And so I'm going to put that sort of two rectangles on top of there. So I'll go ahead and draw a rectangle width 60, height of 20, and then offset that 20 and 60, I think is about right. Okay, so there's part of the footprint, and I'll just create it with another rectangle. And again, I'm doing all this under the plane geometry, so that's how I'm getting two-dimensional items that I can draw on, and that'll be 20 and 40. I'll offset that 20 and 20. I believe that works. Yeah, okay. So there's the footprint of just those two things together. I chose to just draw it as two simple rectangles. So here's another aspect I want to do is again, under plane geometry, I'm going to right click, and I want to go down to conversions and convert to solid. And what I'm converting are these plane or two-dimensional objects into three-dimensional objects is what that's doing. So I'm going to add those two objects to it and then build. So what should happen now if you go and want to apply boundary conditions? So for example, I'm going to apply a temperature boundary condition on my model. I can now, these will remain as or I should say surfaces that I can apply boundary conditions. So I've just put a boundary condition there. I believe in the problem that would be, for example, 20 degrees. And then if I did a different temperature for the rest of the material, I would do a separate temperature. So I can do like the remainder of the surface and add that one in addition to these surfaces. So a couple steps there just to remind you, you want to create a work plane. You want to draw those rectangles on that work plane. So by creating the work plane, you're getting to two-dimensional objects you can create, and then you want to convert those to a solid. So it's creating them to two-dimensional solids, essentially. And then you can apply boundary conditions. If you forget to do this, you'll find that these objects that you drew appear to disappear. So, all right. If you have any questions about that, just stop by my office and let me know.